I wanna see a show, I flip on the book of face. Yeah, I know where to go. There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see. So radio show is where I go for the latest band info. So there's the Town Radio show for the music that comforts my soul. It's the All Around Town Radio show. The All Around Town Radio.
All right, everybody. Good afternoon, and welcome to the program today, and to a nooner, as we call it here, from the All Around Town Radio studios. It's Wednesday with the band, and I am joined by a host of Brady Bunch characters in the squares here today. I've got Mike with me, Jerry with me, Matt and Josh joining the party, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome Hoopty to the show on a Wednesday. How you doing, fellas?
What's happening?
Hey, Scott.
Hey,
good, man. For having us.
Good to have you with us today. We're going to learn a lot about your band here. A lot of people I talked to this week, a little unfamiliar with you guys, so I want to make sure we get the word out there on what you're doing and what's going on with you. And let's kick in here first of all. And Matt looks like he's taking a trip through somewhere. I don't know where he's going.
Time travel, bud.
Are you good? You guys are all doing work. I know it's a tough time at noon sometimes. We do have some great ceiling fan views going today. I appreciate that. Yeah, spin words too, Josh, will you?
We got to start with somewhere.
It's all fun, guys, and thank you for being here. Jerry, thanks for setting this up. You were the one that contacted me about being on the program, and let's talk about how this band came together. I mean, how did you guys come to be? Who wants to take that?
I'll give it to Matt.
Oh, geez.
All right.
Guitar player.
You're up.
Well, we all come from like a touring kind of background, I guess, if you want to say. We've all done our own fair share of touring and playing for other people. And, you know, I guess we kind of got, so to speak, I wouldn't say tired of it, but we just wanted something different. And instead of playing for other people, we wanted to do something that we wanted to do. And we're all in our, late 30s, early 40s. And we all came up in the 90s era. And that's something that just kind of has died off pretty much everywhere for a while. And now it's making a huge comeback, which is fortunate for us because it's a lot of fun because we get to play all those 90s and 80s hits that are now making their full circle back around, whether it's country or rock or whatever. And we decided
it's funny how that works too, that whole cycle of stuff. And it's great that it comes back. I mean, I'm an 80s guy. I mean, I love the 80s music. And as you know, you can hear our theme song has a lot of 80s influence in it from Sweet Sister Mercy and all that. And you guys put this project together. So you say you toured some. Can we mention anybody that you toured with or any of that? Can we mention those people or not?
Well, I toured with a local guy, Derek Allen, for a while, and we made some great headway before COVID happened, and then COVID shut. Well, everybody knows it shut music down. I think I think it was kind of. I wouldn't say a blessing, but it allowed an opportunity to put this group together during COVID. And I don't know, we all really enjoy it. And this has been our main focus since COVID's kind of tore off. And, you know, this whole 80s, 90s music scene is back in full swing. So it's kind of been a blessing in that area or that realm. So
Yeah, COVID did some positive things. I mean, it took the music community out to its knees for a while, but it also put together some great projects. And that sounds like kind of what you guys have done here. And I've got to laugh at this comment. Quentin says, I hope disco doesn't come back. Thank you for that.
We do have some 70s, but it's not disco.
Well, if I could go back to my disco DJ days, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I had a lot of fun DJing to 2,000 people a night. You know, people were out then, and it's tough to get people out today. So this band, Hoopty, as it's called, how long you been together?
Well, it started, Matt, right? Like in 2020 in COVID, when we kind of we regrouped as a trio. I've played around the tri-state area. I knew Matt and another guitarist, Fred Maccabee, from playing around with Tyler Moore Band and Derek Allen Band. And then, so I think after COVID, we kind of regrouped as a trio to just do some of that 90s stuff that Matt was talking about. And so I think around I think we started getting together right when the shutdown was around March. We were trying to get this project going. And so I think from then, and then we regrouped again, I think a year and a half ago, and we brought Jerry and Mike on board. So yeah, that's kind of how it originated.
All right. So just not too long, but enough to come out of that COVID with your head held high a little bit, I think, and make this thing, put this thing together. So the name Hoopty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting name. So how'd you come up with that?
Jeez.
We've all had one.
Yeah.
It's like the old car. I think because we were older guys in the scene, and we're like, you know, it was like an old car, and then, you know, we were just goofing and just saying we were some old broken down guys or whatever. And we just kind of started throwing names out there, and that one was like, oh yeah, remember driving an old Hoopty when you're young, or your parents had a Hoopty or something, the big old boats, and so we just kind of settled on that. I think that was the story, right, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, we we were just sitting around trying to figure out something that kind of I don't know, it just kind of fit with who we are and what we were trying to put out there. I guess I don't know. We did, and then one of the guys, like he was talking, the former member, Fred, he's like, man, he's like, these old cars, these old muscle cars, they're super cool, and you know, you pull them out, you know, to do a Sunday drive, and you crank the music, and you're cranking 80s and 90s, and it's like, you know, it's like the best feeling ever. And we were like, Hoopty.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of how we feel. Like, we come out and we try to put on a good, you know, 80s, 90s, 2000 show. And I mean, that's kind of how we do it. You know, we just try to give everybody a good Sunday drive, I guess.
Well, I can see you guys all driving to each other's house to pick you up for the gig in this Hoopty. And, being kind of laid back as you drive through the hood there a little bit and pick each other up. That name takes me back to the old days, and I like that. I mean, it does. It kind of says it's synonymous with, you know, the old school stuff, like you said, the old muscle cars, the big boats, or something that you go drive around in that your parents owned. And I had one of those too. In fact, I had a Griswold car that I grew up on, the paneled station wagon.
I had one of those too.
It's a beaut, though. It's a beaut, Scott.
It was a beaut. It was. So all the band members, we're missing what, one today? Are we missing anybody?
Nope. Everybody's here.
Okay, so we've got everybody. It's a 4-piece band. Tell us what you play, guys. Mike, what do you play?
I play the guitar.
I couldn't imagine that by the backdrop.
Generally. Until you start talking to me, you go, yeah, this guy's definitely a guitar player.
Yeah. So Mike is the guitar player. Jerry?
So me and Mike kind of share a little bit of lead vocal or lead guitar duties, and me and Matt share lead vocal duties. So we kind of we don't have a front man, which is amazing. We are just we all do it all.
Yeah.
You know, I love bands like that. I always talk on the show when I've been out to see somebody that's vocally deep and they have several people in the band that can take a song and sing. And it's not just that same person up front all night singing the songs, because I think, first of all, it wears that person out if you're vocally, killing it all night long. But the other side of it is it's good to see other band members get showcased. And so you're playing guitar as well, Jerry. And Matt, what are you doing?
I'm on bass.
How did I figure he was a bass player?
Is there a bass in the background?
It's the look.
It's the look. It is. Bass players have a distinct look. They do. And it's like drummers, Josh. I'm hoping that's what you are.
Yeah. Drums, and I don't do much of the vocals. They've been trying to get me to do some vocals, but I'm more, if we need a group yell vocal, I'm good for that. So we'll see if I can get. I have a microphone back there, but I'm rarely using it. But we'll see. But yeah, I'm playing drums, and Matt's doing bass and vocals, and it's real cool with him and Jerry, and Mike's jumping in there on some lead. Him and Jerry switching off. I mean, we can go from a Chris Stapleton tune that Matt can crush. We can go to a 80s or 90s that Jerry can crush, like maybe the Police or something like that. So we're trying to stay versatile in our selection, so everybody that comes to the show can have a reason to stay. Right? We'll play. We'll try to hit all the different decades for you. We don't want you to leave. We want you to have a good time. Tip your servers. Support the business, support local music. And so we just try to bounce around the different decades of songs, from country to 80s, minimal country, but we'll still hit it. We'll still hit some of the classic country, 80s, 90s, and some of the songs from now. So top 40 all over, some deep cuts. We just want everyone to stay and have a good time. So we try to play everything that we think everybody likes, as well as us.
All right, so let's add to that a little bit if we can, and let's chat about relatable songs that people would know that you guys are covering when you play. So name some of the tunes that you do in your set lists that might attract people to come out and see you.
Go ahead. Yeah, Jerry, you got the list, baby, right there.
not handy, but we do.
I'll tell you, two songs
Go
they
ahead,
asked
Mike.
me to sing that I love singing are kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum, from Boys of Summer to Feathered Indians.
Wow.
Don Lee to Tyler Childers type deal.
So you guys are all over the place then.
Yeah, we do Remedy. We can do Man in the Box. I mean, we're kind of all over the place. We do a Styx tune.
Creed.
We do a Creed tune.
We'll play some Pearl Jam. We'll go Chris Stapleton to a Hall and Oates tune.
Fleetwood Mac. Hall.
Wow.
Eagles.
Even do some Eddie Rabbit.
Yeah, we do.
Allman Brothers. I mean, it is pretty all over now, I think.
We got a sweet mashup that goes from Warren G's Regulators, the intro, that goes right into Neon Moon by Brooks and Dunn. So we're everywhere.
All right, I've got to come see that. That just sparked my interest a little bit. Really some cool songs you have in there. And how do you determine what the set list is when you're going into a place? I mean, do you have a set list that is like, yeah, that's what we do tonight, or do you kind of call audibles and just go on the fly?
No, we typically, for structure reasons, we all have came from a very structured setup. From playing with other people, and that's kind of our big thing. We rehearse often to make sure that we're on top of our game, because we want these things, like we were talking about, the Regulator into Neon Moon, and a ton of different, like, I wouldn't call them mashups, I would call them more like intros into other songs. We want to make sure that stuff is awesome and seamless. But I don't know.
A lot of that stuff, Scott, comes from rehearsal. Creativity at rehearsal is a huge thing. Like when we get together and jam, you don't know what's going to come out or what's going to happen, which is very exciting. And for us, we have to love it and be passionate about whatever it is we're doing before anybody else. So that's most important. We want to do popular songs, of course, but we want to enjoy what we're doing first.
Gotcha.
And to answer your question a little bit from a perspective of just a guitar player, Mike, the master list that Hoopty has put together it seems like the set list starts with a master list, and then it depends on the venue and the gig, kind of what the crowd is going to be like. Seems like each gig definitely has its own created set list. It seems that we'll have polls from if we need them, or if there's a request, or if the crowd's a little different than we thought, or it feels like we need to go this way. But yes, every gig has a dedicated set list that is not set in stone, but has some polls that we can take.
Right. And I understand. I mean, that has to be a little flexible sometimes depending on your audience, because let's face it, the demographic in the club could change at the second set. And you're like, oh, this is not going to, these songs may not work with this crowd. And you have to, sometimes change that up. But I also appreciate the fact that you have a set list and you come into it with a plan and a timed set list, so you got to have a break at a certain point and all those things, which really helps the venue as well, to not just be in there just flying by the seat of your pants. But the musical background of all these songs, you guys, like I said, you're everywhere. So let's take it around the room if we can. Let me get something off the screen here so I can see a little more. Let's start with Josh down there, our drummer. How did you start playing music?
Well, I've been playing since I was about 9 years old. So my dad plays the drums, and he was, doing marching band and all that stuff coming up in high school. And he had bands when he was younger. So I started playing when I was 9. Saw a drum set at my grandfather's basement up in the storage. I said, "Hey, what's that?" He said, "Oh yeah, So we were like, "Okay, I'm interested." So we got those down. We took them to the house, and that's all she wrote. I thought maybe this might last a month or two, but I'm in my early 40s, so it's lasted a while. So I started playing in high school, doing the marching band thing in high school. I did marching band, drumline, 4 years of college down at Morehead State. Go Eagles! So, and then once graduated there, came back up here, Northern Kentucky, and just started trying to find a network and starting to get my name out there, or at least start playing with different people. So I started doing that around 2008, 2009 or so. And I've just playing around. It's mostly been tri-state area that I've bounced around with bands, either a fill-in guy or a full-time guy. I just wanted to expose myself to the scene. I want to expose myself to different types of music, and also play, what I enjoy playing. I'm not a full-on jazz guy. So I'm more of a rock guy, but I just like playing all types of different music with great musicians and more so just great friends, really good connections in the area here.
Perfect. All right, Matt, how about you?
I grew up in church. And I started playing from the earliest that I can remember. My mom and dad were both musically inclined, so to speak. And my mom married, my mom and dad split when I was young. My mom married a former touring musician. And he really took to teaching me some stuff that was deeper than what I had ever learned. And he had a full band set up in our basement, and we just would jam every day. And he's like, "I'm going to figure out what instrument fits you." And we just did that. And I always settled back on the rhythm side of things, which was great. I mean, it was fantastic as a young teenager. And I took that, and then I played for church for a while for some different churches. And then I just branched out and needed to get out and play some other music, because I really didn't have any other music background, which these guys laugh at me nonstop because I have no idea what the names of these songs are that I come up with, because I was in this bubble growing up that I had no idea another world. And then I just expanded out, met some great people, had some amazing experiences, and met Josh and Jerry through playing with local talent. And we just kind of, I don't know, man, it's been a lifelong of music for me. It's been since day one. I can't remember my life without it.
It's kind of funny you said, because I get so many artists that say they grew up in the church, they started in the church and all that, and then they go to the dark side. They get to the bottom. Yes, and It's interesting how that happens, but it's a good way, though. I think like you said, you didn't know all these songs, so now you're discovering these songs when you stepped out of the church realm and you were out there playing out and all that, which can be a little invigorating. I think you're like, oh, there's some new stuff. There's, because the church thing is, it's good. I'm not bashing it in the least, but it's one of those, I think, where you're boxed in and you don't have a huge choice of song lists, that you're going to play in church every day. Even now with the rock and roll churches, as they call them, I think that changes a lot. And perfect, Matt. Thank you for that background. Jerry, let's bump to you real quick as we move through this and a real quick background into your music history.
So I think I was around 12 or so. My dad was a sound guy / keyboard guy for a band in town. So there was always a band stuff set up in our basement as well. So I think I've been playing like that since I was 12, in and out of bands. And when I was in choir too. So I learned how to sing before I learned how to play guitar. So when I started learning how to do them both, I just started my own band and with friends from high school. And, can you play the bass? Can you play? All right, cool. And can you play the drums? I had a buddy in high school that I played drums with, and we would always just find a bass player somewhere, and usually an older guy. We'd pick up a trio and figure out what we were going to do. But yeah, that's but my dad had, Journey, and my dad was heavy in like Whitesnake and stuff, but he also listened to like Zeppelin. So my dad was, Floyd, Beatles, Doors stuff growing up.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's going to be one of my next questions too, is what you listen to. But Mike, anything about your musical history we could share with everybody?
So when I was about 9 or 10 years old, my mom got me a guitar, and I was interested in it and wanted to play it, but I was not very good. Never really learned anything. I had a couple lessons, and I just didn't pick up on it. And I think I was about 12, went on a family and friends camping trip to the mountains in Idaho. And there was these guides. We took horseback up in the mountains, and the guides were bluegrass players, and they had an extra mandolin. And I learned how to play chords on a mandolin, and just having that playing with other people, like just sitting around a fire in the most beautiful place I'd ever been. Something about that like triggered my brain to become obsessed with music. So as soon as I got home, found a Allman Brothers CD, Eagles, Leonard Skinner, and Pink Floyd, and it was just game on from there.
You notice Mike's telling us how young he is, talking about CDs, by the way. Yeah.
Sorry, I meant to say things.
Yeah.
He is the baby of the band.
He's
the youngest.
In my house, that would have been a vinyl record or a 45 RPM record there.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Mike, I still got CDs.
That's okay.
Hey, CDs were great. Don't knock them, but yeah, that exactly spots your age range there. So let me move on real quick. We've got a few more minutes left here, guys. And if you're watching and you have a question for Hoopty, please drop it in the comments and we'll pop it up there on the screen and see. Or if you're watching afterwards, these guys are going to share it on their pages and things, and you'll have the opportunity to drop a question in about the band. Or if you're a venue looking for booking inquiries, make sure you contact them as well. We'll get some information up on the screen about how to do that here in just a few minutes. So for the sake of time, since there's so many of you today, one artist that really influenced you playing younger days playing music. One artist. I'll kick it over to Matt on this one. You get to go first, Matt.
If it was probably, mine would be two, and it's just because of my mom. It would be Led Zeppelin and Heart.
Gotcha.
It was the only. Because we were so embedded in church. This is no joke. My mom would sneak off, and we would be in the car, and that was what she played. So those two are the first that I ever learned how to play. So that was probably my background. Very deep.
She was about to get thrown out of the church for listening. Oh, man. There was no doubt in my mind. All right. Josh, how about you?
So growing up, dad put all the 70s rock from his era when I started playing drums. So it was always Zeppelin, a lot of Van Halen, and then as I got going a little bit more, I'd say Rush with Neil, and then a little bit later was Dave Matthews Band. Once I saw Carter Beaufort play with Dave Matthews, I was just enamored. So I would always listen to the drummer first. So of course I went with Bonham, I went with Alex Van Halen, and we went with Neil Peart and Carter Beaufort. I mean, that's and then I got into some jazz fusion stuff later on, but that's my pillar right there.
There you go. All right, Mike, you're up.
I'm going to have to split it between two guitar players just to give you a range. It's hard to pick and nail down exactly, but Steve Gaines and Vince Gill, if I could share the stage with them, they're both kind of different ends of the spectrum when it comes to energy levels and whiskey intake, but I would have to say those two guitar players.
Yeah, you're leaping ahead to my final question, too.
Ah.
Good. So,
I thought this was the final one. Sorry.
That wasn't it.
Go ahead.
I think
those two things.
Probably David Gilmour stuff, because it wasn't hard. It's hard to do, but it's slower to learn it. Like it fit my patience with learning solos, because it wasn't a bunch of Van Halen tap. You could actually hear that and Allman Brothers stuff when I was younger. I would learn, and some Molly Hatchet too. I'd turn on the Molly Hatchet record and learn how to play that stuff with the record.
Gotcha. Hey, I got to say hi to some folks. Thank you, Kara, for checking in. Bach, Chris Reese, thanks for being here. We appreciate you. And I'm hearing myself coming back in one of your feeds there, guys. I don't know which one it is. I'll have to figure it out. A little bit of an echo happening. Let's talk about something different here. Let's talk about where these folks can come see you play here in the near future.
Yeah, for sure. So this is a big weekend for us. This Friday, we will be at Miami Valley Gaming from 8 to 11 p.m. So that's this Friday, the 14th. And then we're going to turn around on Monday, and we're going to be at Anderson Tap House for St. Patrick's Day celebration. That's the 17th. And we're at Anderson Tap House, and we'll play from 6 to 10. So that's going to be a full 4-hour night. So that's the big weekend we have coming up here this Friday at Miami Valley, 8 to 11. And then Monday, Anderson Tap House, St. Patty's Day, green beer, green shirts, green fun, 6 to 10.
Perfect. And it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen there too, guys, for you. So catch them there if you can at Miami Valley Gaming. Those shows are interesting at the casino. I would much rather see you play in a venue that likes music. It's unfortunate. I love the casino atmosphere because there's a lot of people, but oftentimes there's a lot of distractions too. So I hope it's a good show for you there and you enjoy it.
Those two. So this will be our first time playing those two gigs. But then as we get more into May and the summer, we'll be at we'll be doing outside venues. Mayfest at Braxton Brewery in Covington will be outside, and I think that's down at Goble Park. We'll be outside in Independence on 4th of July that Friday. We'll be at their amphitheater up at I believe Memorial Park. We'll be out Braxton Union, the new Braxton that opened out there in Union. We'll be out there in August. So yeah, we're looking forward to the outside ones too. That's when we can really kind of unleash, let it rip.
So if they want to book you, if there's a venue watching today and they say, "Oh, I'd like to talk to these guys about booking," can they contact you through your Facebook page? How do they get hold of you?
Yes, yeah, right, directly through our Facebook page. Yeah.
So just on Messenger and send you a message or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think there's a phone number on there too, Matt. I think we might have put a phone number in the bio part, but yeah, we'll check Facebook messages pretty regularly.
Okay, perfect. So what else you want to tell everybody about your band that may not know you today? Anything else you guys want to throw out there before we have to run today?
I've been trying to. I just got us these TVs for our. I have to talk about it, guys.
I knew it.
I just got instead of banners, I just got 2 32-inch TVs to put on our speaker bowls and scroll the venue and scroll, tip your bartenders and waitresses and the venues dates of the next bands coming for that weekend, or it's kind of scrolling. And Josh helped me with how to load it onto a TV, but it's cool to have our stage. Our stage is something I try to help with, because I want us to all feel like we're comfortable in the basement up there. I want us to, have carpets and have a good show and all feel good about, being on stage. That's that's something people may not know. Like we're working on that show part of the, I guess, the look of how it feels to us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah, and I love that new technology that people are using, and using those TV screens in place of the scrims and all the things to advertise, because you can put so much more on those TVs. And it doesn't necessarily. Some people have said, "Oh, it's a distraction to the band." If it's advertising for the venue and it's advertising for the band, then it's good.
It's the time of scroll. That's what I learned. That's what me and Josh learned. It's us for 2 minutes, them for 2 minutes. Like it's time. It's the time. It can be distracting, but you just have to time it out so it's not completely flashing all the time.
Well, yeah, and it's not the FC soccer game or any of that going on that always goes on behind the bands and some
Correct.
of them.
Right.
So distracting. And I love it. I know a lot of bands that are going to that now, and it's a great idea. And hats off to you for bringing the technology in, because it's just one more thing to set up. It is.
Yeah.
And loading in, loading out and all that, that's the worst part of the band business, as we all know. But the best part is that the rewards that come from something like that you're doing, and give people an opportunity to see. And you're also plugging the venue, which the venue's got to love. I mean, they got to dig that a little bit.
Yeah.
We're definitely of the motto of look good, feel good, play good. I mean, we just try to make it at all encompassing, bringing the rehearsal space to the stage, on top of picking songs throughout the decades. Like, I'm kind of OCD about, okay, we have 1270 songs, we have 1590 songs, we have, so we try to really mix it up as far as the different decades, because we want to hit everybody's taste. Or if you haven't heard something you like, just stay a little longer and we might do a request here and there. So we're just really trying to making it a full, comfortable, good time. Just jams, just a great experience for the crowd and the venue. Like, you want that callback. So we're trying to make our mark this year for sure.
Smart business it is. And you have a question up on the screen here. Do you have merch yet?
We were working on merch.
We have stickers
soon.
Yes, right. So no, right now, but you're working on it. All right, thank you.
But I did see that we are at the Vets on the March 22nd as well. It's a jam I put on with Josh and a buddy I went to high school with. Both we have 2 drummers, and we'll it'll be a set of us and a set of an old band me and Josh were in, and it's just a good time. We just try to help the Bellevue Vets. I'm a member down there, so I try to help them out raising money.
Perfect. Where's the band heading in the future, guys?
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
What do you hope to be?
Somebody else.
Picks up the old Hoopty, old reliable.
I think we're where we like to be honest. I think that for the first time, all 4 of us are actually right where we want to be. And I know that sounds maybe a little aggressive to say it that way, but it's nothing against anywhere we've been. It's just, for the first time, we're actually doing music how we want to do it. We're doing it where we want to do it. And, the sky is the limit as far as venues and that such. We all have some amazing connections over the years of what we've done with venues and people and whatnot. But, we're all, we say this every time we have a show that, we're just as excited to be here playing as we are in rehearsal. And there is 100% truth to that. We are literally just as excited at rehearsal as we are in front of a crowd. So I think we're really happy. I know we are. So
that, and playing with we're all playing with our best friend. Like, these guys are my best friends. That's one of the awesome parts too. We're all really good friends, and that's the gigs will come when we put on a really good show. The gigs will come, and we'll take it as it comes.
Great philosophy. Thank you. I appreciate that. And you're just happy doing what you're doing, and that means so much. And guys that are happy on stage, and gals, they're always the best performers, because there's no hangups and all that. Real quick, I'm going to go around the horn here, but before I say that, guys, if you're watching after we're live, which I know a lot of you will be doing, please drop a comment in here. If you have a message for the band, you want to talk to them about anything, you can contact them. They'll be sharing this also on their pages. So please make sure you drop those comments in today and give them just a little vote of support. If you liked what you saw today and you enjoyed the fact that these guys enjoy what they do, then drop us a comment in there. I'm going to go around the room one more time. We're running out of time, so I need basically one word type or one person type answer here. My question I ask at the end of every show is, if you could take the stage with any artist, past or present, as kind of your bucket list item, who would it be, Mike?
I'm going to have to say Steve Gaines.
Steve Gaines. Jerry?
I have to go Paul McCartney.
Wow. Okay. Matt?
Chris Stapleton, hands down.
Like him. Josh?
I just saw the documentary. It's got to be Led Zeppelin.
Wow. You guys are all over the place. You know that? That's cool.
That's what we try to make work. Everybody brings that past experience and their influences in, and we just say, let's jam.
I could take the stage with Led Zeppelin too. I would say that'd be a great moment, but I'd be so fanboy and I would never be able to play anything.
Yeah, I'd probably be shaking a little bit.
Yeah, in their presence. So, guys, I can't thank you enough for a great interview today. Thanks for joining me on the program here on Wednesday with the band. Look forward to seeing you play. If you want to catch them this weekend, guys, Miami Valley Gaming on Friday night, it is, I believe. Yep. And then on Monday, they'll be at Anderson Tap House for their St. Patty's Day celebration. Correct. Follow their page on the Book of Face. It's called Hoopty. All you have to do is jump on there and hit that like button too and follow them, guys, so you see where they're going to be playing. That's most important as well. Anything else you have to share before we go today, fellas?
Scott, really just appreciate you having us on. We're looking forward to a great 25, and thank you again.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, awesome.
You are most welcome, and I look forward to seeing you play, fellas. Thanks so much, guys. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Join me live at 5 right here. We're going to bring you Who's Playing Out. It's brought to you by our friends at Heather's in Springboro, and we'll feature the best musicians and artists in the tri-state and where they're playing for the entire week. So join us there. Thank you, Hoopty. I appreciate you guys. Stay with me for just a minute, if you will, as we sign off here. See you next time here at All Around Town Radio, everybody. Get out and support live local music and the bands and venues that bring it to you.
Thank you.
Don't forget, everybody, the views and opinions expressed in our programs are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our sponsors or any entities that they may represent.
Yeah.